Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be doing a quick comparison with the all-new Ford Bronco Raptor and the Jeep Wrangler Rubicon 392. With that being said, let's get right into it.
How soon will it be on the internet? Exactly right.
So let's start things off by going under the hoods of both of the vehicles. Starting here with the Jeep Wrangler Rubicon 392, we have a naturally aspirated 6.4 liter Hemi V8 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. It is good for 470 horsepower and then 470 pound-feet of torque. Now popping over to the Bronco Raptor, we have a twin-turbo 3-liter V6 that goes through a 10-speed automatic transmission. It is good for 418 horsepower and then 440 pound-feet of torque. And guess what? Coming up here, we got identical fuel economy between both the vehicles, 16 miles per gallon here and 16 miles per gallon there. So even though this has a big burly V8, it's just as economical as the V6 and the Bronco. Now let's go over the front ends of both of the vehicles. So starting here with the Jeep, you guys can see we have the Hydra Guide there in the center, 392 logo, Rubicon logo just down below. And you guys can see here with the LED lights, they're white for the daytime running lights and with the headlights. This one has the satin black front grille. You've got the camera there on the front end. Notice we've got the steel bumper group here with the golden tow hooks. 12.9 inches of ground clearance here with the Wrangler because it has the Xtreme Recon package. Now popping over to the Bronco Raptor, you can see completely different design from a hood perspective. Still have cool venting here on the hood, and then you guys can see here with the trail markers, but obviously they're not too accurate because we've got the massive fender flares. Notice here with the orange daytime lights and then the marker lights with the chunky Ford grille. 13.1 inches of ground clearance here with the Bronco Raptor. And something else to mention, we only have one set of fog lights here on the Wrangler, whereas with the Bronco Raptor we've got the two sets right there. And then we do have skid plate protection underneath with both of the vehicles. And then you notice with the Wrangler we've got a solid front axle, whereas with the Bronco we have independent front suspension. Now popping to the side here with the Bronco, we've got 17-inch wheels. Wrapped around that we have 37s, and over on the Wrangler we've got 35s, 17-inch wheels as well. And then you guys can see here with the front suspension on the Wrangler, notice how they have this little extension as part of the Xtreme Recon package. Notice also with the fender flares, those are body painted, whereas with the Bronco Raptor, it's not body painted. You do have the cool venting there on the side. And here's a quick look at the front suspension. Now something's cool with the Bronco Raptor is it has the same amount of travel as the F-150 Raptor with 37s. So 13 inches in the front, 14 inches in the rear. Travel doesn't matter for the Wrangler because it's a Wrangler. You're not going to be jumping. Well, I guess some people do, but like that's not what it's meant for. Anyways, notice here with the side steps, they've got rock rails there at the top. So you can easily remove these side steps if you want a little bit more clearance or a little bit of a better breakover angle. And then popping over to the Wrangler, you can see here with the rock rails, no side steps on that portion. And then taking a few steps back, here is your full side view on the Wrangler. And then here's your full side view on the Bronco. I can tell you right now, putting these next to each other, the Bronco looks so much bigger just because of the width. Now popping over to the rear of the Wrangler, you guys can see the spare 35 here on the back. Now something that I've noticed is this is a lot easier to open in terms of the Wrangler tailgate, but it's a little bit harder to close because you don't have as much assistance with this as you have with the Bronco. And then it has the window that opens up just like with the Bronco. Storage space here on the Wrangler, pretty solid. They're actually pretty even in terms of overall storage space in the rear. If you pop over the Bronco, you guys will see. And again, this has the assist on the tailgate. It's a little bit easier to open. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty similar in terms of the overall space in the back. Notice this one has a bunch of like rubber mats and everything to protect all of it. And then the window does pop up. And this one also seems to close a little bit nicer. But anyways, notice we've got the marker lights here on the back with the Bronco, just like what you have on the front. And if you're wondering, the side marker lights are integrated into the mirror with the Bronco Raptor. Now, down below, we do have a solid rear axle. So again, independent front suspension, solid rear axle. And then popping over to the Wrangler, solid rear axle as well. But again, we've got the solid front axle on top of that. Now I quickly want to talk about shocks. So here with the Wrangler 392, you guys can see we have these basic Mopar shocks. So this doesn't even have Fox shocks with the Xtreme Recon package, which is a huge downside, and that is definitely the Achilles heel of the Wrangler 392 with the Xtreme Recon package. Now comparing that over to the Bronco, it has the live valve Fox shocks, which means that this has an adjustable system. And I can tell you right now, being the owner of this Wrangler and driving this Bronco today, this system helps out so much with the damping, and it just makes this ride so much smoother compared to the Wrangler. And obviously the independent front suspension helps out with that as well. Now, quickly want to go over the interiors with both of the vehicles. So you guys can see with the Jeep interior, it's a regular Rubicon interior, but it has the bronze accenting for the 392 package. Grab handle definitely helps out with getting up into this beast. Gotta love the sound of that 392. Now this one is fully, well, this is my 392, it's fully loaded, so you've got all of the safety tech, including the adaptive cruise control, for example. Notice the performance exhaust is on, so you can hear that and it sounds absolutely fantastic. We've got this gauge cluster that's mostly analog. You do have a screen there in the center which shows you different bits of info. Since we're off-roading, today fuel economy is not important. What is important is tire pressure and then our off-road status. And then you can see from a camera perspective, we've got just a backup camera and a front camera, basically. At least they both have trajectory lines, which is a big plus. Infotainment system is pretty easy to use. You've got good response time with the buttons there at the bottom, and it's cool that it has like a shortcut bar. Dual zone climate controls, heated seats here for the front passengers, and you can turn on or off the performance exhaust, which is fun. Notice all the windows are automatic up and down, which is great. We've got front and rear lockers, and then we also have a sway bar disconnect with this. This is four-wheel drive all the time, so four-wheel auto, four-wheel high part-time, and then you have neutral and then four-wheel low. Just like other Wranglers, you have to get in four-wheel low, you have to put this in neutral, roll forward a little bit, and then you can put it into four-wheel low. And I will say the systems on this take a little bit more time to engage compared to the Bronco. And then of course we have our normal Wrangler center console and glove box set up, and then notice with the gray metallic trim in here. And then you guys can see this one has the insulation in the top. I will say though, the Wrangler is definitely noisier in terms of wind noise compared to the Bronco Raptor, but let's head over to the Raptor. Now diving into the Bronco Raptor, you guys can see here with the door panel, initially it looks like this is not going to be as like snazzy in terms of the interior because you don't have like cool contrasted stitching, but you can start to see the orange accenting pop out. Notice with the Bronco, by the way, the mirrors are fixed to the body instead of on the doors like with the Wrangler. Now this one has the vinyl seats. I will say these seats look a lot cooler than the Wrangler seats, and they are a lot more comfortable. I also love the code orange seat belts. That is fun. Seats are mainly adjustable, just like the Wrangler. You can get power adjustable seats with the Bronco though. Notice with the pedal layout down below, your light controls. Grab handles here instead of up top, which is kind of interesting, but just as difficult to get in because it's on 37s. And I thought I had the key on me. Yes, I have the key on me. It just doesn't detect it. Here we go. That's a trick, by the way, just key fob into the ignition button. Steering wheel, I also like this more on the Bronco compared to the Wrangler. Really nice trim all around. It's just like a Raptor steering wheel. You got like carbon fiber on it. You have all your adjustments for the suspension, the exhaust, you've got your R mode, and then you have the steering adjustment as well. These beautiful paddle shifters in the back. The Wrangler has paddle shifters too. These ones just are bigger and cooler. Now, full digital gauge cluster, just like the F-150 Raptor, you can customize everything. Basically, all you need to know with the exhaust is you basically have quieter and louder, and you just want to have it in louder mode all the time because it's fun. Suspension, you basically have like on-road, and then you have like sport, and then you have off-road. So you have your on-road, and then your sporty driving, and then your off-road, and then with steering, same thing, basically. Most of the time, you're probably going to drive it in not comfort, normal, and then sport. Now, we actually have a bunch of different drive modes. The Wrangler doesn't have drive modes, but the Bronco Raptor does. So we have normal, sport, we've got tow haul, we've got slippery, and then on the other side, we have our off-road mode, our Baja mode, and then our rock crawl mode as well. Now, what I actually have been using on this trail initially, even though it's like a tight Colorado trail, is the Baja mode, because the off-road mode engages the rear locker automatically, which we just aren't on terrain that we need that right now. Now, you can see stabilizer bar disconnect. We've got the front locker, the rear locker, you can engage them separately. Trail turn assist is also in that area, separate the lighting, stability control. Now, like I said, the systems in this seem to engage a lot quicker than the Wrangler. Camera system is also better because this has a full 360 camera system, and this has a bigger screen, so like just the viewpoints overall are definitely better with the Bronco Raptor. Infotainment system, I'd rate it pretty similar. It's bigger, but it's just as easy to use. Response time is just as solid. Just like the Wrangler dual zone climate, we've got heated seats here for the front. We actually have wireless phone charger on the Bronco Raptor. Wrangler does not have that. And you guys can see more carbon fiber trim all throughout. I love the shifter here with the carbon fiber. Drive mode select. Notice with the Bronco Raptor, we have a 2-wheel high, 4-wheel low, 4-wheel auto, 4-wheel high, and then that's your off-road cruise control. So this has 2-wheel drive, whereas the Wrangler does not. All of your window controls and the mirror adjustments are in the center. I love the Raptor logo right there. And then normal glove box setup. And this has top insulation just like the Wrangler, but like I said, this one seems to be a little bit better in terms of noise cancellation. Now this has 6 auxiliary switches. You guys saw on the Wrangler we only had 4, so that's another key difference. Now to cap things off, we have to go over pricing. So this Wrangler originally stickered for about $86,000, and this Bronco Raptor stickered for just over $80,000. So on the surface, the Bronco Raptor looks like it might be a better value because it has bigger tires, a little bit more ground clearance, and it has more advanced shocks. However, if you look at the market on the regular Bronco and the regular Raptor, these things are never going to go for MSRP, and so you can tack on another $20,000 to $30,000 on top of that base MSRP, and that's what the real market value is going to be. Whereas the Wrangler is actually getting discounted right now, which is crazy because it's not like it's an undesirable vehicle. It's the coolest Wrangler ever made. And so in today's market, as of me making this video, you could buy this Wrangler in the high 70s, whereas with this Bronco, you'd probably have to pay somewhere north of $100,000. Now that's going to sum things up for our video comparing the Jeep Wrangler Rubicon 392 and the Ford Bronco Raptor. With that being said, I'll see all of you in that next video.